And the bottom right now in the red. He's for Onside Gaming. He's won 7 GSLs. It's Maru. And in the upper left, in the blue, the first Protoss player in 7 years to take a GSL, and one of the rare ones to take it over Maru. It's herO. And look at what Maru has in the bucket for us here. It's not a proxy, but it's not a proxy. He's got a barracks on the low ground. He's going to look to, well, just get probably a single Reaper wrap before you move back into the main. And the entire point of this, the entire goal of this build out of Maru is not to kill anything. I mean, it's nice if you get a probe, absolutely. Oh, SCV, be very careful there. It's not to kill a probe, or it's not to get damage done. Realistically, it's to force the Zealot out of herO, which is exactly what we see here. herO doesn't know where this proxy is. It could be, for all he knows, it could be right outside of his own base, and there could be 2 Reapers coming out, and all of a sudden it's a problem. Instead, it's just going to be the one. And instead, herO will be forced to build a unit that he probably didn't have to build. And that just makes life a little bit more annoying for him. A little bit more inefficient. Of course, the other way to take a look at this is that you getting that Zealot out does kind of mean that herO can run across the map there with the Zealot and the Stalker if Maru decides to go on the low ground. But for now, he's going to have to stay at home. Because the bunker, that's going to be a fun play. And Maru tries to go for that. He's not going to accomplish it. But again, in a kind of a weird twist of fate, it almost validates the need for a Zealot. Before we saw that go down, is look at this. Oh, in the line of sight blocker, in the fog, in the trees. A Zealot hunts you. It needs you. It wants you. Something. Sultry words in the jungle darkness. But Maru's not even going to build his command center on the low ground. He knows the Zealot's out. herO is absolutely one of these players that will go run across the map and will try to get damage done. So from all accounts, well, you just got to build it on the high ground, especially because this is barracks into factory, into whatever else, into starport, right into command center. But again, because you get that factory, you absolutely need to build it on the high ground. It's just going to get punished otherwise. 9 games out of 10. So Maru does that. He doesn't really, the value he finds is a Zealot that was forced out of herO. That's just about it. And behind this, well, herO's doing herO things. It's a Twilight on the way. herO is one of these players that specifically in PvT really doesn't like, he really doesn't like Stargate. He'll do it on occasion, but he is very much a gateway player. In fact, he's been doing some pretty cool stuff in this matchup, actually. The fun thing, of course, is that he's been playing a lot of Storm Drop, a lot of Charge Lot Storm, a lot of Storm Drop play, and it's been working out for him. You know, he has been playing he's been seeing some pretty solid results out of it. Of course, unfortunately for him, not good enough results to stay out of the lower bracket, but you know, Maru's in the lower bracket as well, so what does that say? And this is also important to point out because whoever loses this series, they're gone out of the tournament. And this is a Maru, of course, 7 GSLs. He's won every single GSL this year. herO in a bit of a slump, maybe a little bit less surprising to see him in the lower bracket, considering kind of his fall off from form, really from his GSL Season 2 run last year, but more recently from his Katowice run. Top 4 there is Widowmines are going to burrow on down. Propel dangerous, but going to be okay. And then, well, second one, unburrow right there. herO has to be careful. It's going to be 3 probes for 2 Widowmines, which is not optimal, but not horrible. But these Hellions, maybe they're going to find a little bit more. Drop into the main base on the probe line. herO, you got to be so careful. And it's going to get 12. And, well, okay, that's it, game. Maybe not. But herO is going to have to really fight back into this game now. He is going to have to work so hard to fight his way back into it. That, like, sometimes a Widowed Mine drop hits and you get damage. And it gets 8 probes or something. But that's like 3 Widow Mines and you're like, oh, okay, this is rough. The probes were so freaking clumped up on that. There was a world where that was maybe a couple more. Just maybe a couple more probes because the the pull-in goes slightly later, but I don't know if you could get better. I don't know if you could get better with that. I don't know if you could get a better result from Maru if you tried. Now, herO does have Blink done, and he's going to try to balance this out a little bit. Maru, though, he's got tanks in the main. He's got a Banshee out here, which you might not think about being all that good, but against Stalkers, without, if there are not enough of them there, all of a sudden, it just snowballs. The Banshee kills them all. Banshee is very good against Stalkers due to that bonus damage to Armored. But herO feels the need to get pressure done. He's got to equalize this game, and 8 SCVs, realistically 7 SCVs, that one, the other one was a scout, is not enough here. So now there's one tank in the high ground, Banshee here as well, and this wall from Maru is really nice. The SimCity working out super well. Tank gets 2 shots, but now herO dodging away from as much as he can, dodging the Banshee shots. But now there's no detection here. The Banshee is just gonna free fire Stalkers. They got a limited timeline. Let's see just how much damage they're gonna be able to find. For right now, it's 17 SCVs. And you gotta figure that this is gonna be enough to bring herO back into this game. It's 21 SCVs. That's a lot of damage. Even if you slap some slap some flex tape on it, even still. herO doesn't have an army anymore. So as much as we talk about how this works, as much as we talk about how the counterpunch from herO is really finding value. And there's a 4th gate, by the way. herO is really committing to this. He doesn't have that much of an army. This does buy time back. And the tank count's still not bad. It's still 2 tanks. So herO pulls himself pretty far ahead. Like, economically pulls himself pretty far ahead, but he does need to maintain this pressure at the very least, just to keep Maru off of his back. Because if Maru's able to move out here, oh, look at that, just forces the unsiege on the tank so we can drop on the other. Oh, herO. Oh, herO. So I want to talk about what herO did there, because it was just so cool. He drops on top of the tank. There is no army around. The tank has to unsiege, otherwise it's going to go down. It's not going to find value. Great, fine, okay. herO recognizes that, and in fact, he kind of forces that, so immediately he puts the Stalkers back, and the medevac forces them away where the tank can't hit, gets a couple workers. It's just such a fancy play. Meanwhile, of course, the Banshees, now that Maru has defended himself, are on the other side, and this is one of those games where it's like an MMA fight, where the referee says, hey, you know what? Look, it's going to be a good fight here. Make sure to defend yourself at all times. And then the players don't. They do not keep their hands up. It is just body shot after body shot, haymaker after haymaker here. And now the Banshees will fall down, but now here comes the pressure out of Maru. But herO has been able to redevelop. Oh, look at that tank positioning there. Gets a couple Stalkers. That's really nice. Maru now has this powerful army. Yeah, army supplies are, they're not even all that equivalent anymore. But 3 tanks here and a Raven as well is a lot of damage. So herO is just trying to buy time. He wants to buy time for charge. He wants to buy time for storm. That's the big thing here. As the Warp Prism tries to get on top of the Marines, they go backwards. So it's not a lot of damage on these tanks, but it is slowing this push of Maru down. But storm got canceled. herO realized that he's not going to have this out in time. He needs the army. He needs the money right now. It's Archons, not Storm, that are going to have to be the solution. Charge done in 1 second here as Maru continues to rally across the map. So now we get to see whether herO can make this happen, or whether this army of Maru, after haymaker from both sides for the last 9 minutes of this game, whether this will finally be that knockout punch. On the bottom side, Marines move forward. Now they have healing. Stim as well here. +1 done at the same time. And okay, that's going to be a dead, well, maybe an Archon, but for now, it's just going to get targeted down. Zealous from the front side. And look at the shutdown there on the Warp Prism, really not finding the value. It means that this Immortal will fall down. 2 tanks still firing. It was only an assassination on one of them. So Maru, he handles this absolutely perfectly. And now stimming on into the natural here. Scan up in the high ground, sees where the Stalkers are. It's going to be another Immortal. It's going to get targeted down. Warp Prism kites it away just barely, but there's just not enough damage. The Warp Prism is now dead. Immortal inside, and this is going to have to do it here. That auto turret, by the way, is fantastic. Just prevents the Zealots from getting on top of the Marines. Maru has killed herO in this game number 1. He fights his way all the way back, and that means that Maru up 1 game. Really awesome game. Maru, though, up 1. 10 minutes. In the bottom right here in the blue. He's down a game. Inches away from fighting back. Inches from making that a game 1 loss into a game 1 victory for Dragon Cuts to Gaming. It's herO. And in the upper left, in the red, up a single game in this series. What a game it was. It's Maru. And as we, of course, get into this game number 2, and what's proving to be a pretty cool series already, I would like to remind you all that if you enjoy games with Maru and herO, like we have here, games with serO and Raynor and Beyond and Max Pax and all of these awesome players, you should sub to the channel, because every single day of the week, or at least the majority of days, there are going to be VODs, best of 3s, best of 5s, best of 7s of all the top Starcraft that's happening, or at least some of the top games of Starcraft that is happening. So make sure to sub to the channel so you don't miss it. I guess you're supposed to ring the notification bell too, and also leave a like to the video, because this game number 1 at least, certainly deserves it. And let me know how wrong I was about Banshees having bonus damage to armored. I could have sworn that that was the case. Was that something? That was something that changed, I guess. I'm not sure, but I could have sworn at one point in time that Banshees had bonus damage to armor. Now they don't. I'm just wrong. But anyway, Maru, same build game 2 as he did in game number 1 here. Barracks on the low ground. It's not really a proxy, but again, it's not a proxy. But this positioning for the bunker is, it's unfair. You can't get it with a Zealot. You can't get the SCV with a probe. This bunker's going up whether or not herO wants it, and herO's going to lose a probe for it too. So already a much better start for Maru in game number 1. Now, that's not to say that Maru had a bad start pretty quickly after that, but the start of this, I mean, this is just unfair. This is just an obnoxious spot that Maru has found for himself, although that's a mistake. You should not be taking damage. You should not be taking glaive shots on your SCVs. You should be able to pop in and pop out, just be fine, especially when it's an adept killing buildings. That just, adepts don't kill buildings is the long and short of it. So now we're going to see Maru. He's going to try to target the adept down as much as possible, because that's a lot easier for the Reaper to kill. Now he's just going to abandon. There we go. Salvage on the bunker. Moving forward, SCV will fall, but that just trades worker damage, and herO was denied from mining from his natural for about 4 probes. 3-4 probes, something like that. 30 seconds. That's a solid start there for Maru. And it doesn't feel like we're getting that as much quite as often anymore. It feels like Protoss players, for the most part, have gotten pretty good at making sure these bunkers don't get up. But Maru found a window. He found a little bit of really an annoying, a really painful position to put that bunker in, and herO couldn't respond. So that was that. A little bit of damage done early on, but we talked about how herO doesn't like his Stargate play. This game's going to be an exception. We got 1 Phoenix out, second one on the way. A Widowmine drop from Maru is unlikely to find value, and that's actually really nice for herO, because this is a 4 Widowmine drop. This is a committed bit of pressure coming out of Maru. Now, that being said, if herO's able to defend this, if he had been able to defend this with a Twilight opening, as we saw in that Max Pax game, you can go and just run across the map. If you go Proxy Reaper ish into 4 Widowmines, the tech is just kind of delayed just enough that you can start to find that value if you really beeline it. But now here comes the drop into the main base. Do we have any lifts? 1, 2. They're gonna kill those. 3. Shot goes off. 2 workers go down. And hey, for the fact that this was theoretically build order countered, right? Phoenix should handle this. Getting a couple workers is pretty nice. Now, the question really is whether Maru is going to be able to get out with this medevac, because for right now, yeah, he's not. The Phoenix is going to find it. That's going to be dead medevac. And there's the punish. Maru, resources lost, pretty significantly higher than the 2 probes that herO has lost there. And I think he lost a 3rd probe earlier on, I think. But now the Phoenix, they're going to start to play around a little bit. And yes, the Cyclones are nice. Oh, that's a dead Raven. That's the play. That's the value that you're looking for. So 2 SCVs, but more importantly, Raven is dead. But the question we ask ourselves now is whether herO is going to go for He's going to go for Phoenix Colossus, and it seems to be the case. So the Robo gets added in, or whether it's going to be Phoenix Charge. Now, I say it seems to be the case because this is a pretty slow Robo for Phoenix Colossus, and that is a much faster third base. Well, it's actually kind of Phoenix Colossus timing. But again, the big deal here is the Robo is slow. It's slower than it might otherwise be. But I think that in part that's because herO didn't cut Phoenix at 3. He got all the way up to 5, and that did of course mean that he was able to defend the harassment a little bit. It meant that he got the Raven very quickly. So give and take here. And as Maru is not going to be hitting a 6-minute timing, and again, that's another thing that herO is probably taking into consideration here, is that he knows that this was 4 Widowmines on the drop on the Proxy Reaper. All of that put together means that Maru's not going to be hitting a 6-minute stem timing. You don't need Colossus out all that quickly. So you can stay and you can be greedier and get maybe a bit of a quicker third, get a little bit more gas elsewhere, build more Phoenix early, get a medevac. I mean, that's a result of aggression rather than kind of macro play. But it just means that herO has more time on the map. It means that he can still make sure he has Colossus out on a proper timing and get them a little bit later. So first Colossus now getting chronoed out here. Maru drops a scan. He doesn't see much. He sees that, yes, there's a Robo that's there. He sees that the Robo Bay, or he sees the Robo Bay has extended thermal lance getting started. He sees the Robos getting chronoed, but he doesn't know what the tech position is. He doesn't know whether herO has a Colossus out. He doesn't know whether it is this 2 immortal timing, 2 immortal setup that herO has. Now, downside of this from Maru is that he only has, or from herO, is that he only has 1 Colossus. Against this pressure coming in from Maru, and herO's going to lose the Cyber. He's going to lose the Gateway, maybe loses the pylon as well. But oh, look at that. Okay, it only gets 1 of them. Well, the Widowmine drag is going to be really nice. Now Gateway goes down, Cyber goes down, and we're going to see the Widowmines get lifted here at the start. Now there's no splash in this army. Maru can fight this, at least take a kiting fight backwards because Charges isn't done. But even still, hero's going to take a pretty solid fight. And now with the Colossus joining the fray, it's going to force Maru back. He's going to have to go and retool himself once again, resituate himself. And despite Maru going for this 7:30 odd timing, ooh, we got a big thunderstorm coming in. Despite Maru going for this 7:30 timing, he's not that late on his third base. Started around 7:30, oftentimes on the 311. You'll see it started even later than that if you kind of do commit to that 7:30 later timing. But Maru's, his third base still on the way. Decent timing. But he's going to have to build an army that is good against Phoenix Colossus. And that requires a lot of Vikings. It really does require a lot of Vikings because it's like, what? Okay, you're going to go kill the Colossus? Great. The Phoenix is going to kill everything. Or at least kill enough to be obnoxious to really cause a problem. You want to kill the Phoenix? Well, the Colossus are going to kill your entire ground army. Have fun, Maru. So Vikings now starting to join the fray. I want to say he made a Ghost Academy. Yeah, he did. Do we have any ghosts? No, not yet. But eventually there will be ghosts on the field as herO, he's just getting ready to go late here. Warp Prism speed on the way. Here comes the pressure from Maru on the left side for now. Now that's a pylon going down. But not much more than that. And by the way, herO's a significant Phoenix count. He's got 8 of them. And that again just gives him a little bit more power here and see whether he can chase. So for now, oh, nice drag there on the Widowmine. Notice what herO did. He moved commands it forward, waits until the Widowmine targets it, and then dashes forward. And then just drags it forward a little bit more. Didn't end up doing too much at the end of the day, but again, small little micro tricks that show us that herO, despite losing game number 1, he's in fine fettle. He's doing some really cool stuff against Maru in this series, but just because you're doing cool stuff against Maru doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be enough to beat Maru. I mean, 7 GSLs tell us that. One is now this Viking tries. Like, I'm going to go on the ground. It's like, well, yeah, Phoenix can lift anyways. Who cares? I'm proud of you. Do you want a cookie for being able to do squats? Is that how this works? But another Viking will fall in. What this does more than anything is it delays the timing that Maru can be effective. It delays the timing where he's really going to be solid. But to be honest, I'm kind of surprised to see herO not try to get aggressive off of this. He has this Phoenix count. He has these 3 Colossus. And we know that Maru does not have an anti-Phoenix army. He does not have an anti-Phoenix Colossus army is the best way to say that. So he's going to have to multi-prong. Well, if you shove right up the gullet here, as herO's finally doing, Maru has room for the counterattack if he wants to, but herO feels like he might have a little bit too quick of a move here on the map. Now, EMPs on the Phoenix are nice, but there are 7 Zealots warping into the main base. There will be 11 in total. But Maru now, he is on the counterattack, and this may force a recall, but not before herO puts so much damage onto the 3rd base. SCVs just get pulled away. The 4th base will get canceled here. I guess off the Zealots, but it's just going to have to be a recall anyways. Only 2 probes go down, and now Maru has to be careful about being chased down here, but luckily for him, there's not a lot that can chase. Not really. And in fact, this 4th base may just get tapped down on the retreat. Stalker's on the left side. Archon's getting some really good shots there, but now they're going to turn into balloons. Maru wants to stand and fight, but I'm not sure that that's going to work out super well. Ghost getting targeted down here. Meanwhile, herO on the 3rd, those Zealots eventually get dealt with, but not before 15 SCVs go down. Now, Maru, great presence of mind here. I thought that 4th base was going to get canceled. I really did. Oh, Widow Mines. Yeah, I got to be careful there, herO. That's a lot of Widow Mines right there. But herO doesn't have blink. Never mind. I mean, we can't really criticize him for that. But I really thought that that 4th base was going to go down. Maru just didn't touch it. And now Widow Mine. herO on the pull. Last second, 5 workers go down. Maru just left the command center there on the logic, I guess, that if it really ran into a problem, he could cancel it, but didn't have to do it preemptively. And herO just didn't waste the DPS on it. He was okay with that. So now, this game, a game that felt that it had a very strong opportunity of ending 30 seconds ago, now seems like it's going to go quite a bit later here, as the players, they're going to have to sit back, they're going to have to retool, get themselves a little bit happier on the map. But Maru stems on up to the high ground. Here, Zealots are going to find this for the most part. Widow Mines looking for a mineral line, and it seems like they're going to find some. Meanwhile, 7 SCVs go down on the other side. Zealots on the back half here looking for the surround, but they're not going to find it. There's just too much of an army. herO can't bring his army together yet, and that really is the big part of this. So 2nd Robo now getting added in from herO. Blink 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way done. Maru feels really unlocked on the map. Army supplies are equal, but this lack of a War Prism means it's really hard for herO to counterattack, and this base that herO has taken is really forward on the map. It really it means that, yeah, herO has this kind of movement through the middle of the map that we're seeing him take advantage of right now, but also it's really easy for the Terran to play around it. It's kind of how that's going to work. But for now, Maru, he's got a surround here, but it's still a scary position from herO. He's going to target the planetary down. And now, which side of the fight does he want to take? Right side, left side at the same time? He's just winning both. herO's just built different right now. It's kind of insane, but there's not a lot of anti-air, and the Colossus will eventually fall. This ground army, though, from herO, it's actually kind of crazy. I look at this, and it felt like he won that fight. I look at the supply, though, and it tells a different story. But at the end of the day, herO, he takes a base down. He kills a lot of Maru's economy, and he takes a good enough fight that, at the very least, means that Maru doesn't have an immediate run across the map, end the game type of idea. So that by itself is a pretty solid option. Coming out of herO here is Zealot run-bys everywhere, but Widow Mine into the natural. That's 2 probes. It's only 4 mineral patches. There are not a lot of probes in that natural anymore. Let's see what happens. Maru continues. Maru has lost so many SCVs this game. 39. But resources lost here. It's not telling a favorable story for herO. It really isn't. He's 5,000 resources behind Maru at this point. And you know what? He's up a base. So if he can maintain this economic advantage, he's going to be pretty happy. But if he's not able to, if Maru ever gets one of his bases down, life is going to be hard for our Korean Protoss player. But for now, Maru, he's not taking the fights he wants to take despite being up 3 upgrades. This Colossus on the high ground is going to be a problem. The Zealots were able to find small portions of this army. And I don't know that Maru's going to be able to make this happen. Now, that being said, Widow Mines are like everywhere on the map here. So the attempted Zealot run-bys are not working out super well. For herO, he's just taking a lot of damage before everything happens. And it's not that he really has the robo time, but he really needs to take an observer and just scour the map of observers. It's a big problem. but he still finds his way across the middle of the map. Once again, there are a lot of EMPs though, and I don't know that herO can find his way onto the map once again. Now, of course, he's a little bit happier this time. This is the Terran main. This is the orbital. This is a far more pushable position once herO maxes out, or at least gets his upgrades, because he's at 1-1 right now. His economy only just now is really starting to look good again. He's on single forge. He's only on 1-1. We need to see the tech of herO start to develop. We need to see the upgrades of herO start to develop more and more, but instead he's adding in disruptors, he's adding in a storm, he's adding in 3 levels of splash in this army, and you know, 2 of them, they don't care about upgrades, and that is a solid way to play. But herO's trapped here. Disruptors are gonna get what they can, but herO, he spends a little bit too long. Maru on the full 360 flank, ran around, dodges a Widowmine, herO does, but this army feels destined to fall down. herO, what can he find out of this though? Because these stalkers, they feel like they're almost certain. Actually, some of them get out. So it's going to be fine there. But these Widowmines are just, I don't want to know how much these Widowmines have killed. They have been worth their weight in gold, platinum, therium. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the Stormgate thing. Not Vespene. What's the fancier Vespene? Here comes herO once again through the middle of the map, and that's just how he wants to play. But we can see as this game goes later how scary it is for him to push through this, because here comes Maru from every side once again, and herO's army supply is not good enough, but that's a big storm. These are massive storms coming out of herO right now, but Maru, trusting in his upgrade, says it doesn't matter how much damage these storms do, because you're not going to kill everything, and I can flood through the middle of the map. I can kill the rest of this, and Maru is right. herO down half the army supply at this point, and we need to see him he's got his 5th base now, but Maru is doing such a good job on this 3 orbital setup of moving his orbitals over. So I think realistically, how many resource pack? Yeah, okay, 3rd base is getting a little low, but I think realistically, Maru, his economy on 3 bases might just be better. Okay, it's not quite. He doesn't have enough workers. But once he maxes that out, I think he actually might have a better economy than herO on 5s. Now the Zealot, it's all from one angle though, and EMP's on everything here. herO again is not going to take a positive trade. Last time we looked, it was 5k. Now, okay, I thought that was going to be worse. Now it's 7k. And herO does maintain a positive economy. He has been able to remax in some way. But again, he's lost a lot of gas. This is 6 disruptors, 4 Colossus, a couple observers, and again, herO's been struggling to reproduce them. He doesn't have an observer at the game at this point. And with how reliant Maru has been on this Widowmine play, that's just, that's hard. But he's just looking for angles right now where Maru's entire army isn't quite there, and he seems like he's found one right now, trapping the army in a corner. But it's 3-3 versus 2-1. Widowmines are just worth so much here. Oh, on the disruptors as well. It's like a free EMP, and the disruptors have to run away right now, but herO does win the fight on the right side. Reinforcements are not going to be here in time though. Not at all in the disruptor. On the left side, it's going to get a single Widowmine. That's it. Maru now hot on the chase, gets 1 disruptor, gets a 2nd. He's gonna get a 3rd here, and now herO's gonna have to hold the high ground as well as he can, but this army doesn't feel good enough anymore. There are not enough disruptors here unless Maru really bungles things, and the Zealot run by in the middle. There are just too many Widowmines. The reinforcements from the Terran are just too damn strong here. Here comes Maru, and the Zealots, they're gonna have to run home. At least that's gonna keep herO alive. At least that's that. But it's starting to get to the point, even as herO gets his 6th base up, that I don't know that herO's going to be able to build an army on this tempo game that he's trying to play. I don't know that herO's going to be able to build an army that ever deals with what Maru has. Not without upgrades. I mean, mass disruptors maybe, but Maru and herO both are playing so actively on the map right now that herO is never going to max out. herO is never going to be able to make that happen, in part because he's kind of in desperation mode right now. We're seeing him just run Zealots into this base of Maru's that it's just not working. He's just losing Zealot after Zealot. for what is truly minimal gain. And now Maru, he finds the deep and seedy underbelly, the soft underbelly of this Protoss player, where the true economy was. A storm doesn't even land. herO whiffs it badly. And now Maru, he's got an angle. He can retreat out of it if he wants. Maybe not quite. I was going to say he might be able to turn on this, but not quite. Too many disruptors there right now. And the army's a little bit too small, a little bit too overstimmed. But herO loses a base once again. And now Maru, at this point, you know, he's only up 30 army supply. It's not 50 like it was previously. Has to be careful of these disruptor shots, as the couple will go in, but they're not going to kill a ton. Neither is that one. And now herO has to back up. He doesn't have disruptors available. He doesn't have shots available anymore. And this Liberator addition coming out of Maru right now, it makes it so much harder to play. They don't even have range, but it's hard for disruptor shots to go off with Liberators on top. They just can't get in range easily. You got to be soaking shots, or at the very least the bio has to stim and sit under the Liberators, and it becomes really hard. And especially you add EMPs on top of that, and things start to die very quickly, as another observer goes down, by the way. So now again, herO playing with 0. And here comes the surround out of Maru on every side. Once again, EMPs on this army. Disruptors, they're just getting absolutely harvested. Now another shot comes in. That's a bit of a better one. But we do need more here from herO, and Maru's just not going to give it to him anymore. Now Maru, he's just going to stim down the ramp. At this point, disruptors continue to fall. And while we look at the supplies, and for a moment, okay, it's only 20. It's not about the supply. It's about the disruptor count. It's 2-1 versus 3-3. EMP exists. These zealots do not do anything, even with shield battery overcharge. Disruptor will get a shot off there. Maru is not able to dodge. So herO does find a bit of a counterpunch. But the reinforcements, that's the problem at this point. And Maru has been dragging this game out, or herO has been dragging this game out for the last 20 minutes, the last 10 minutes. But in a game of drips and drabs, Maru surgically removes herO from the map in game number 2. And now he is 1 game away from moving on for a date with Clem, and maybe a date with Cyril, seeing how things go in that lower bracket. But herO, he's not done yet. On the bottom right now in the blue, he's down 2 games in this series, but both games were knife's edge, so close. It's herO. In the upper right, though, in the red, he's up 2 games in this series and playing so well. It's Maru. Man, there was a loud peal of thunder, just now. Hopefully we're gonna be okay. Hopefully the rest of this goes as it should. Hopefully we don't lose power or something. But anyway, herO is getting active on the map here. This is gonna be proxy Stargate, by the way, based on the timing of the Cyber Core and the pylon. Really, that's how it should turn out. There's a vague chance that this is some sort of weird classic build where you build a gateway at home, a gateway abroad, and actually as the Zealot rallies across, that might be the case. But no, it's gonna be Stargate. Okay. So this is the first proxy Stargate I've actually seen in quite a bit here. Proxy Stargates against Terran just don't feel all that good. It takes 3 shots, or 3 damage instances technically from an Oracle to kill an SCV. And that takes a while, so your damage maximum is not as high. Maru, though, is he planning on taking this base, or does he just know that herO loves to take the gold off of a proxy? Because that is herO's game plan very often in this setup. Let's see what happens here. So for now, Oracle's getting Chroned out. Bunker on the high ground. Maru knows that herO only has 1 base right now, that this is committed pressure in the early game. So you drop the bunker to make sure that this is to keep yourself safe, really, against any sort of barracks or gateway at home, gateway on the other side of the map, to have a classic build. And of course, it also keeps your Marines safe. But the bunker's not going to complete. And the ideal here, the absolute platonic ideal that herO wants to go for, he wants to get the Marines. If he can kill the Marines down, man, these oracles will feast. But he's not going to be able to get there yet, and that means that for now, a couple SCVs went down building the bunker, but the bunker will complete. Now there's a Cyclone on the high ground here, second one on the way. Maru's got his command center behind this. I don't really like this for herO. I don't really like in a world where Maru doesn't figure it out, sure, fine. But this bust that herO wants to go for with a couple gateway units and 3 oracles, it's not going to work out super well. And hey, you know what? There's a Reaper at home, so Oracle has to go home, has to be revealed. Now, granted, Maru knew what it was, but it still is it's confirmation, right? It means that Maru is now 100% certain about what's happening here. And that means the bunker. That means, well, we have 2 Cyclones. Widow Mines now getting made. This build has about a snowflake's chance in hell of getting damage done. And herO, of course, is building probes out of 2 bases now. But when you go for this, when you go for the adepts and the proxy and everything else, you slow down your natural. Your production, I mean, herO's only up 2 workers on the Terran right now, despite, again, having Chrono. Granted, he's not spending Chrono on probes, for at least for a good portion of this game. It's been on oracles and things of that nature, but his Nexus is not that much faster. Maru has mules. herO's gonna try to dive in right now on the oracle play, but Widowmine, actually, that wasn't a Widowmine. What just died? Widowmine, I thought I shot a shot golf, but no oracles died. I'm actually not. Was there a hallucination? Did I miss something? Oh, Phoenix went in, I guess. Did Phoenix die? Yeah, okay, Phoenix went in, soaks the Widowmine. That's why I was confused. Even still, value here, not really to be found from herO. He's been going for this crazy build, and he's going all in off of it. 3 more gateways, 4 more gateways on the way. Should be a couple more than that. Charge getting added in. Yeah. I really don't have a lot of faith in this build out of herO. It's going to be 6-gate charge out of this, I think. Yeah, 6-gate charge. Charge that Archon, I guess. I think Maru just kind of ends the game. Once stim is done, once combat shields are done. He may not even have to do that. herO's going to go for this big push. And in fairness, there is no wall in the natural. So technically, Charge Loss can get on top of this army. They won't be able to retreat. Archons get on top as well. That's something. Like that's the logic here. But I worry that herO has lost too much and not found enough value in this game to really make it happen. And now here comes Maru on the map. He's going to get a lock-on, double lock-on actually on this Adept. The Adept will fall. I don't know that I like Maru moving out right now. This is like the one option that herO has if Maru attacks into a defender's advantage with Charge-Lot Archon. But what are we at? Gateways. We have 5 gateways done. 5 more on the map. Going full Haas here. 10 gateway charge. But is Maru gonna fall victim to it? Now the scan sees the High Templar, and that's a really solid move in and of itself. In fact, there's no army here. The High Templar just fall. There are no Archons. herO, you have 5 gateways, but you just... herO's dead. Maru killed him. herO's going for a little bit later of a timing and didn't build any units to try to make that comeback or to make that happen. And Maru just hit a timing when herO wasn't ready, and herO died with like no army on the map. That was a weird ending, but I can understand what herO was going for. He wanted to hit a timing like 30 seconds later, and Maru snuck in right there. But regardless, that means that Maru moves on. He's gonna run into Clem in the next round, and then if he beats Clem and if Serral beats MaxPax, it's gonna be Maru Serral in the lower bracket for a pretty deep run. I think maybe for lower bracket finals. That's going to be fantastic. But for now, first 2 games of this series were pretty awesome. Third game, a little weird, but sometimes these games happen.